Changes are coming to Battlefield 2042, more specifically to its heads-up display. So if you were concerned about the way it looked, maybe it's a little too simplistic for you, maybe that kill feed, which myself and I'm sure many others have talked about, it is going to be getting changes. We're going to discuss that today. Now, before we start today's video, remember, if you do enjoy, to leave it a nice, thick, and juicy like as always. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of content, you want more like it, don't forget to hit that big red sexy subscribe button right underneath the video. Also gotta say, I've been streaming a ton lately and it has been an absolute blast hanging out with you guys. If you want to swing by and say hi, be sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I am live. Last but not least, gotta thank my channel members. You guys help make these videos possible. If you want to join, get access to the exclusive perks that they get, don't forget to check out the link in the description or hit the blue join button. Anyway, let's begin. So we've had confirmed, thanks to a DICE developer on Twitter, and also want to credit Lossy because his video from yesterday is what brought this to my attention. But there are going to be heads-up display changes, and apparently it seems to be that it is in the state that it's in, really just to test how well the gameplay is going to work. Because honestly, at least if I'm understanding the thinking here, the actual focus on gameplay and balancing and making sure that it's a quality experience there, if that's still good even with a HUD that doesn't play on those dopamine reactions in the brain, if that can be of quality fun, and then you add the actual cool HUD to it, then I think we have a bit of a good game on our hands. Now, is that the case here? I don't know. I'm just some guy talking about a game that he really likes, so I have no idea really what I am talking about, but I do think that the thinking is much more that gameplay is the priority, and then they will finish the HUD and apply that later when it's going to be ready for mass appeal and showing off to a mass audience. Now, I guess you could argue trailers and whatnot are for that, but what I'm assuming is that by the beta, or maybe even by Gamescom, whatever we see there, the HUD will be much closer to what it's going to be at launch, and it's going to be final. So that means things like the kill feed, that means things like obviously your weapon, your mini-map, things like that. That's going to be much closer to what it's supposed to be in the actual final iteration of the game. And I am very excited to see what that looks like. We have seen some cool concepts of, for instance, Battlefield 3's kill feed up over the Battlefield 2042 HUD, and it looks really good. Another thing that I've heard from some people is that the skulls from Battlefield 5, some people really liked that, and the way that it can kind of make it feel like, say, in a multi-kill, it can make it feel like you really did something because you have that one big skull and then a bunch of smaller ones pop up and rotate through. And that is a really cool thing in BF5. Personally, what I'd like to see, just to, kind of please everyone, and it kind of comes from the fact that we have the portal in the game, is what if we have multiple different kinds of kill feeds and you can just cycle through whichever one you like the best. If you have content from all these other Battlefield games and each one has a bit of a different kill feed or user interface in general, why can't we just, maybe cycle through some of our favorite ones? There's nothing at all that hints at this, and this is me just purely spitballing here, but it seems like an interesting idea nonetheless, and it adds more to that player freedom, so there is no just bickering and moaning about which one works the best for this game. Now, one last thing I want to touch on is just how drastic is this change really going to be? We don't really know. So far for like the kill feed, I think that's what's the biggest concern for a lot of people with the heads-up display. I mean, we've seen some pretty big changes. For instance, just going back to the Battlefield 5 reveal trailer, as painful as that may be for most of us, the chromatic aberration in that trailer is absolutely insane and not even possible to replicate. The heads-up display is literally glowing in the trailer, and I'm sure that's for like cinematic effect. Still weird once you put it into gameplay, just weird. And then there's some scaling and things like that that are different than what we see in the actual final iteration of the game. So, how much is it going to change? Hopefully a good bit. I think with DICE's history of having really cool kill feeds in multiple different titles, I'm sure they'll come up with something that is appealing for most players. And like I said, I think the idea of maybe having different ones that you can cycle through from previous games would be really cool as well, just for that player freedom. Anyways, this was a shorter video than I usually make, and I just want to get out here and say a quick word about this kind of a thing that I have talked about quite a bit in previous videos, and now we have confirmed that if you've had concerns about the heads-up display or the kill feed or anything like that, it's going to be changed by the time we actually get our hands on the game. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.